my gosh. Did you guys see what just happened? Frankie, did you see? High five. Give me a high five. She saw what happened, and she ain't happy about it. All right?
It's about capitalism. This whole video is about capitalism.
Or something, I don't know. I don't know yet. We'll find out. Squid Game: The Challenge is a reality show that was produced by Netflix. Recently just came out, and it is based and inspired on the South Korean series Squid Game. You've probably heard of it. You've probably seen the Mr. Beast video. You probably saw the video that I did with my grandmother. A lot of epic content coming out of Squid Game. The original series was a dark psychological thriller that depicted desperate individuals participating in deadly children's games, but with high stakes for a chance to win a large cash prize. By the way, if you go to sour.gg and buy candy, there might be some for sale, maybe. We sell out so quick. If not, I have a book club. It's called Gump.club. Join it. We have a cool episode coming this week. We're reading a new book too, all right? We just read The Myth of Sisyphus by Albert Camus. We're moving on now, though, okay? Links down below. So when Netflix originally announced this reality show adaptation of the South Korean series Squid Game, it was met with skepticism and some concern, particularly from fans of the original series, because it's like, it's fiction. Why would you do it in real life? It's kind of strange. You're making a reality show about something that's pure evil. I literally cannot express just how ironic Netflix being a huge corporate entity and making the general public pay Squid Game for everyone entertainment is. It seems like you literally did a pretty decent job of expressing that. So, can we all agree that the theme of Squid Game went over Netflix's heads? A lot of concern stemmed from the original show's brutal and violent content. People would be absolutely destroyed in the show. It's pretty messed up. I don't really want that to happen on a reality show. Actually, I would love that. A lot of people were also questioning, how do you not just brutally murder people for money, but also have a loyal adaptation of a really good show without losing what makes the original series so great? Like, how do you walk that line? Mr. Beast did it, kind of, right? He got a lot of hate for it, though. The reality show ended up being made, and it came out, and it's been out for a little while now, and they mimicked the format of the fictional series. The contestants competed in games for a chance to win a substantial cash prize. Yay! The series boasted 456 participants, the same as the original show, and they had a prize of $4.56 million, the largest cash prize in television history. And the scale of the show, unprecedented. 400 people competing for 4.56. That's a lot. That's a big stake. Now, I wouldn't be making this video if everything went exactly as it was supposed to. This show couldn't even escape controversy on the first day. When they wrapped up filming on January 23rd, 2023, it came out that the show's producers were not prepared for the journey that they had embarked on. They were not ready for the Squid Games. Yeah, no shit! Former contestants came out and told Rolling Stone about their experiences, and they don't exactly paint a pretty picture. They said, "It was the cruelest, meanest thing I've ever been through." It's the Squid Game, you fucking fool! We were a human horse race, and they were treating us like horses out in the cold racing, and the race was fixed. That's bad, but also that's some shit a loser would say. All the torment and trauma we experienced wasn't due to the game or the rigor of the game. It was the incompetencies of scale. They bit off more than they could chew. Valid criticism. That makes sense. I played the devil's advocate there at the beginning. I was like, yeah, of course, this is a Squid Game. You can't just treat people bad, though. For a cash prize. You'd like to think, though, that the people knew what they were signing up for, but they didn't. They really didn't seem to know, because there were accusations of cruelty and the contestants being treated like animals. Then claiming it's fixed with $4 million on the line and Logan Paul's not even in it? I mean, that's bullshit. Poor treatment and cruelty isn't the only thing that Netflix is being accused of. There's also allegations of hazardous working racing conditions and medical emergencies during the filming of the red light, green light game. You're very familiar with that one. It's probably the most nefarious of them. It's like the most f***ed up one. It's kind of like the first one that you really start to get to see some crazy stuff. I like it. Good show. Not the reality show. I've never seen the reality show, but the television show Squid Game. I lied. I only made it to like 3 episodes. I just couldn't understand what they were saying. Apparently, Apparently, it was below freezing during filming, with temperatures being below 26 degrees Fahrenheit, which is quite cold for you Europeans and Canadian freaks. And people in their competition subjected themselves to these temperatures longer than they should have, which resulted to some potential hypothermic moments, which is bad. That's a huge health risk.
Even if hypothermia kicked in, then people were willing to stay for as long as possible because a lot of money was on the line. Too many were determined not to move, so they stood there for far too long. There were people arriving thinking they were going to be millionaires and leaving in tears.
That makes sense. I mean, that it is a game show, though. Like, if you arrive and you think you've already won, then you've lost. Also, filming took a very long time, even though the producers allegedly claimed it would only take about 2 hours. A lot of people said that they were on set for over 9 hours in stretches of time where they weren't even allowed to move for 30 minutes. Plus, some people were in positions like this.
I wish I had a watch on me to say exactly how long it was. All I know is that woman was holding a squat a lot longer than I could. And I've seen people clowning on her, but she deserves a lot of respect.
Imagine getting stuck there for half an hour. That would be terrible, dude. That'd be like me getting stuck bent over my laundry machine. On top of all this cruelty, there's also allegations of the game being rigged. Now, this is a much bigger deal because that's like fraud and terrible, and it just makes me really emotional. Actually, I have to burp. Apparently, some contestants were pre-selected to advance in the contest. And this sometimes was based upon the sizes of their online followings. It's suspicious. Where have we heard this? But it makes sense. Why would you want Joe Schmo to win when Tommy Bahama might win? Or Dream. Maybe Dream would win. The Minecraft guy, you know him? Dreamathy?
No.
It is important to note that all of these are allegations, and there is no way to prove any of this true or false at this current time. Some more specific examples of this happening was the fact that some players were mic'd up with real microphones, and others had fake microphones because those players were disposable, and there's no need to waste money on them because they're just going to get eliminated. Fully mic'd up players were taken away before the games even started to get like B-roll and stuff, and cameras would even follow these pre-selected mic'd up players. They would follow them around and record their interactions with other people. One contestant was even eliminated only to be added back later in the game. Now, I have a little bit of a suggestion for Squid Game when they do this in the future. Maybe kill the people. That's like what they did in the real show. It makes it easier to, this guy's not cheating, he's dead. I'm joking, by the way. This is incredibly up, and my joke just makes me seem like a callous douche nozzle. And guess what? I am. So you can like go through and look at these people and kind of guess which ones might be more likely to be pre-selected by just how attractive they are or their occupation. Maybe this person, she's a writer, video game podcaster. That's kind of cool, right? This guy's an actor. He's very handsome. This guy's literally a model. I think he's less handsome than the other guy, but still handsome nonetheless. This guy's extremely handsome. I would love to exercise before breakfast. If he wins, he says he'll mostly enjoy spoiling his dodo. Why, dude? Use that money on yourself, brother. There was even a TikTok account with nearly 1 million followers that posted a video claiming to be in the filming of the game, Squid Game, the challenge. And they snuck a camera in and they were filming everything and everyone. And this fella was number 188, but it turns out this wasn't the real contestant number 188. This was just a pretest. This guy got absolutely trolled, and he honestly looks like, what's his name? James Corden. Yes, sir! You're welcome. You're welcome. Feel free to use it. There was also the 38-second massacre, which was an incident that allegedly, I gotta be really careful here, allegedly contestants were unexpectedly eliminated despite crossing the finish line in time. So it's like they're trying to meet a quota, basically. The producers are. And this is perhaps the worst example of the show being manipulated by the producers, if it's true, of course. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think this all seems plausible to me? For the 38-second massacre, 3 former players told Rolling Stone yet again that there was a large group of contestants that made it across the finish line, and even though the group had made it and they were there across the finish line, their blood pack started going off, and they were told that they were eliminated despite having successfully completed the game.
None of it was shown.
And here's the other thing. Because I stayed until the end, and I'm so glad I did, I got to see at the very end, and I say, originally I said there were 50 people. I don't know how many there were. All I know is that there was a huge group of people, I'll stick with 50, that made it across the line while she was still singing. I sat there and I watched.
Is Netflix bad? Do I have to get Disney Plus now? Oh man. So Netflix, do Disney, subscribe to oompaville, join the Gump Club, and buy Sour Boys. There are 2 former contestants that are now threatening legal actions against the show over alleged injuries caused by the harsh weather during filming. They claim that they suffered hypothermia. That was the main claim. Possible nerve damage, which that can be a result of hypothermia. So these people are saying it was pretty cold, and it was cold enough for the Netflix team to have hand warmers and little tents with heaters in different areas so contestants could warm up when filming, or during breaks at least. Here's a TikTok of a contestant talking about their epic experience and how miserable they were filming Squid Game.
The game had to have been at least 9 hours. It had to have been.
Well,
And remember, it was below freezing.
Now, this is this woman again. She seems like she really did not enjoy her Squid Game experience. I'm going to go out on a limb and say she probably didn't win. Let me on there, I'll win. Now, a law firm based in the UK called Express Solicitors said that there isn't a lawsuit filed as of now, but they have begun taking legal action against the show's production company, Studio Lambert. So it's not like Netflix really didn't have anything to do with it. So we can still watch Netflix. It was Studio Lambert. That's who it is. They claim responsibility for Undercover Boss, which is a show that you guys probably know. They say that they did that, so it's a cool show. Then more people came forward and said that they passed out. I saw this person standing completely still and did all but a subbing. They ducked to their knees and they ducked backwards and they completely pass out. I feel like you get 500 people in a room for long enough, one of them's gonna end up passing out. People who tried to flag down medical staff to get people to help these people that were passing out were eliminated. The people flagging down, they were eliminated. That's awesome. Here's this grandma again from TikTok talking about the nightmare that red light, green light was.
Yes, it was a 5-minute timer, but they stopped it several times to look at film, to let the drone fly overhead, to walk the coffins through, which I never did see on the show. And to rescue people who had collapsed, because people were collapsing left and right all over, all during the game, calling for medic. So there were several things that delayed the game. So the timer really wasn't a timer. It was more like a prop.
The claim was that 11 or 12 people had fainted, but the staff claimed only 2 had truly collapsed. Cooler heads should have prevailed from the very beginning. The game should have been able to be paused, and they should have rethought how to shoot this correctly. Because the game, it's a 5-minute game in the show, but it was 2 to 3 hours to film this shit. How does that work? Contestants said that it was around 8 to 9 hours of filming. So who's lying? What the f is going on here? If it is 8 to 9 hours, that makes sense why people were passing out and collapsing and stuff. That's a long time. Having to hold a pose for 30 minutes while producers review footage, I mean, that's just like absurd. That is absolutely absurd. I mean, all I'm saying is they should have just done it right. Okay, they should have killed me. I'm just joking, by the way. I'm lying. I'm joking. I'm fibbing. I'm telling a fibby right now. I'm sorry. Apparently, people were screaming for medics who were on scene because they just weren't kind of coming to help. There's a bunch of allegations that medics took a long time to reach players in need of aid because producers were worried about shots being ruined. And that makes sense. That's a big claim, but that one really, that checks out. No, they're fine. They just have a low blood sugar. Let me get this epic angle with my 807 millimeter air cannon blast macro lens. So to get around ruining the shots, they sent out the pink jumpsuit goons with black coffins, positioning themselves to block the medics attending to injured players. And when all this was happening, all the other players had to remain frozen. I think it's important to remember that this is a reality TV show and we're not actually trying to hurt people here. So I think, I mean, I'm joking a lot about that, but Netflix is not that difficult to not just torture people. And would you believe it if I said the production team that held this up was involved in some controversies in the past? This thing, it's an iceberg. It's a goddamn rabbit hole, you some bitch. Rolling Stone did some digging, conveniently enough for me, and it shows the fact that the co-producer, Studio Lambert, we mentioned them already, the Undercover Boss folks, they're responsible for quite a few different reality shows. They have faced claims in the past of making staffers work in terrible working conditions. There was a show that they were responsible for called Gogglebox. Sounds ass. And the production team reported great toxicity in the work environment.
People have had enough. You don't turn up to work to be screamed at for 12 hours a day, a recently departed former Gogglebox employee told The Guardian.
It was the worst job I ever did. The way that it's made is inhumane at times. Inhumane? What the fuck's that even mean? We don't know who's exactly responsible for all the shit going on with the Squid Games challenge thing. If it's Studio Lambert, Netflix, or some massive corporate overlord. Perhaps it's even Walt Disney himself. Also, when asked about pushing contestants too far, the people behind the show gave some interesting responses that seemingly contradict the allegations from the people who were put through the grueling circumstances, the people who were pushed too far. Welfare and safety are obviously paramount for us, and we've taken appropriate measures to look after people. The particular criticism you're talking about was centered around the filming of Wet White, Green White. That was a big, complicated shoot, and it was a cold day, and it took quite a long time. But everyone was prepared for that and worked out for properly. We anticipated and actually strenuously tested everything in advance and made sure we took all the proper measures. But he didn't really explain anything, so I'm not on his side. I'm not on that guy's side. That guy, he claims that welfare was a top priority and everyone was properly looked after, but that's a stark contrast to what this beautiful grandmother sang on TikTok, and I'm more inclined to believe her, to be honest, than you, random guy. Stephen Lambert, the CEO of Studio Lambert, also had some words regarding this question. He said that the Squid Game show was nicer and easier than other shows, and then he belittled the allegations of people and complaints from the contestants, calling them mild. I strive to be like him one day, just totally aloof and just, non-caring and about anything, really. Overall, it's kind of ironic that a game show, a reality game show about a fictional game show that is about poor people fighting each other for money and freedom, it is essentially that now. It has become that, which is awesome. There's other unscripted reality shows like Survivor or Naked and Afraid where contestants suffer sort of like harsh environments. It's about suffering, right? And then you get a prize at the end. These shows are not new. This one is just the one that seems to have safety not as the best interest or the primary interest, which is in contradiction to what the leads of the show say. The CEO of the company from the UK that's doing the legal action stuff, a fellow named David Slade, said, "From what we've been told, they, Netflix, push the boundaries of safety in the name of entertainment. Production companies need to ensure that health and safety standards on the shows don't leave people at risk of harm." Seems like it was a bit of an afterthought with Squid Game show. Honestly, there's a lot of headlines right now. It's crazy. Also, man, just the ethics and morals of this, like it's based on a show that's horrible. It's fucking horrible. And there's people who just lose their minds when they fail and they get eliminated. They lose their, it's crazy. They freak out. This guy right here, this made me sick. I don't know what he's doing. He's burping and swallowing the burps and stuff. I think Netflix missed the mark pretty big time, and there's going to be a lot more episodes. Obviously, I think it has to finish out, and somebody's got to win the money. I'm excited to see who it is. Hopefully, it isn't actually rigged, because that's terrible and evil and really fucked up. And then on top of that, the whole thing is also kind of terrible and evil and really fucked up. And I don't know why the showrunners would ever do this. Mr. Beast got in trouble for this already. But people just hate Mr. Beast and everything he does. Another really important thing to mention about this entire situation is that the main criticism doesn't really seem to be these random allegations and the cruelty and the harsh environments and the injuries. It's just about the tone-deaf nature of this whole thing, the irony. Squid Game is anti-capitalist. It calls out how people are dehumanized and then taken advantage of for money. People will literally put themselves in life-threatening situations to get themselves out of whatever hole they find themselves in. Dead, right? They're just loan sharks. Exploitation of people for entertainment. That's a main theme of the original show. Squid Game, the challenge, is just this. It's putting real people and it's fucking them up. And then it's terrible. I mean, the guy choking down vomit. Only before that, he went viral for having an absolute deadpan reaction to another player's elimination. Check this out. It is messed up because this guy found out about the show shortly after battling cancer, and he's probably got medical bills or something, and this money would have helped him, but we don't know though. That's just what Twitter says. I'm not exactly sure if it's true. Epic miss of the mark, Netflix. Good job. The game is probably going to be successful. The show will do well. The original show did really well. Mr. Beast show did really well. I don't know, dude. I'm excited to see how it turns out, and let me know what you guys think. Is it evil? Is it terrible? Is it redeemable? All right, are you going to watch it? Are you going to tune in? I'm not.